you're ready for 2024. And I have until 12:30 available. Do you guys have until 12:30 available?
Yes.
No? Okay. I apologize for being late. I had a 10 o'clock appointment that was supposed to last until 11. It lasted until clearly 11:20, and then I had to go to the bathroom. So anyway, do you have your goals written out? Like, this is where I want to be. Okay. Have you now taken that and written out, this is how I'm going to get there? These are the strategies that I'm going to use to get there. Okay. That is the whole purpose of this. What strategies have you used that are profitable for you, that yield results for you?
Is this an open question?
This is an open question.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was rhetorical.
No, it's a serious question. Everyone has things that they see. Everyone has different things that they see results from, right? I don't understand it, but I hear of people who go do an open house and have no results. They just can't get the engagement. And I'm thinking, how can you not? You're face to face. That's the easiest. And then I know of people that can go do door knocking and get all kinds of engagement. I get zero, like big, huge goose egg whenever I try to do door knocking. That does not work for me. So there's open houses, there's door knocking, there's calling FSBOs, there's calling expireds, working with leads. Like, what is it that is working well for you?
Well, for me, it's like referral based systems. So it's doing the pop buys, it's calling like past clients and seeing if they're ready to sell. And so I've had a couple clients, unfortunately, they bought when it was the tip top of the market. I've had two people do that and they've only owned the house for a year and a half and they want to sell for whatever reason. And I have to say, well, and then it actually makes me look bad because I'm the one that sold them the house,
Not to sell in
and
2 years.
well, right, I know, but it has happened
5
twice
years.
already to 2 first-time home buyers that bought with me in 21 and 22, and they're in the hole at, like, 80K, you know? And so,
Oh, wow.
it's stuff like that that it would be sales right now if if they bought when
At a
it wasn't
different time.
crazy. Mhm.
Were
But it's not to
those
say that they can't, possibly hold on to it and rent it and still get what they want now. So that's the
good?
conversations we're having.
Good. So helping them think outside of the box. Like,
Mhm.
okay, so you're in this unfortunate situation because of timing and because of the way the market reacted. None of us planned it.
Right.
But since you're in this position, how are you going to get past it? Right? Okay, good. So for you, you're going to look at your sphere
Mhm.
and come up with 3 different strategies, right? Your pop buys are one strategy, making your phone calls and notes, right? Do you do anything on social media with your sphere?
I try to do social media reels that are kind of like a hot talk, like I just did one a couple weeks ago in a USDA approved community. So I was describing how this could be you could buy a house for essentially no money down. They were paying closing costs. You had 0% down and they were buying your interest rate down. So you're at this interest rate for first year and second.
I would
Um,
say one of your reels could be very personal. Hey guys, I helped some of you buy those homes at the top of the market. Some of you now are coming back to me wanting to sell them. Let's sit down and have a conversation, right? Like,
mhm,
it makes me feel bad because you're in this situation and I was the one that sold you your house. You know,
mhm,
let's sit down and have a conversation. Have you considered maybe being real in your reels, right?
yeah.
Or in your post doing a video of some sort, right? And just sitting down and being real about it. Like,
Mhm.
this makes me feel bad that some of you are coming back and we can't sell your house right now. Let's look at what else we can do. So,
Okay, that's a good point. Mhm.
and that again reaches out to your people that already know, love, and trust you. Are you doing anything outside of that, Evan, to grow that sphere for yourself?
Like for new clients? Yes, I would say that I have several new clients in the works that are just from either buyers from listings that I've picked up or different people that I've met, and then obviously like other new clients here that I'm trying to get their referral of who they know.
And you've got the chamber, right? You're working
And the
strongly in the
chamber.
chamber. So
Yeah.
that should expand your sphere
Mhm.
also.
Mhm.
I would say sit down and really map out your strategies and then put it on your calendar.
Yeah. Okay.
The most difficult part of being a real estate agent is being your own boss. Put it on your
Mhm.
calendar. Consider your calendar your boss. If you had a 9 to 5 job and you walked in and saw on your calendar that the admin had booked an appointment for everyone to sit down and work on this particular project, your tail would be in the conference room, right with everybody else, working on that project because your boss said so. So when you put something on your calendar, think of yourself as the boss. And when you open up your calendar to see what all you have scheduled for that day, think of yourself as are you at your husband's work again? Think of yourself as the employee that now has to do what her boss told her to do.
Mhm.
So Kelly, while you're there, check and see if they have any wheelie chairs and those tables that we want. Yeah, check and see if they have any.
I don't know what we want. We were just talking about that yesterday while I was at the office. Training tape. Do we still want training tables?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think we have any of those, but in wheelie chairs, like,
So I would like them in my ideal situation. Do you know what if you go to Williamson County and they have those chairs with wheels on them? Those chairs also stack. I want
the
those
stackable ones with
wheelchairs with
wheels.
wheels
Okay. Yep. I know
that
what
are
you're talking
comfortable and
about.
cute.
Well, comfortable-ish, cute, yes. Okay, stackable. Now, if they don't have wheels, would we be okay with just regular stack chairs? If we would be able to have more space and use more space in there without those big office chairs or conference room chairs.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Okay,
I think of those little black chairs that
yeah,
Williamson County uses.
I know
Yeah.
exactly the ones you're talking about. And honestly,
Yeah.
they sell those with training tables. And they're not that crazy expensive. So it might be something that we may
Yes.
need to go that direction, but I'll look and see what we've got.
I would like, yeah, find me something on clearance. I like a good deal, man.
I know, me too. Me too.
Okay, so Kelly, before you have to leave because you said you didn't have until 12:30, what strategies are working for you? Or maybe you want to explore a strategy. The best practice in real estate is fail fast. Try the strategy. If it's not comfortable, if it's not working, if you can't get the system down pat, move on. Find a strategy that works. So what are yours?
I don't
Or
know
your
if I,
goals, right? You can have a bunch of different strategies, but you have particular goals. I believe yours were one closing per month. So what strategies are you going to use for that?
yeah, that's where I get a little lost. Because I don't know. I think ultimately what's worked in the past is the relationship referral. Um, I did do open houses for over a year before I actually got a real live buyer, and I got like two at one open house. And we were actively looking, but neither of them actually purchased. So I actually have not closed an open house prospect.
So let's stop and think about the open house. Was it a particular neighborhood or type of house where you got those two, or was there something you did differently where you got
Yeah,
those
no,
two?
I think it was the neighborhood and the fact that it was a new house where they were still building. Um, I think it got, and it was, I just feel like the price point was just ideal for people. The house itself was not a great setup. And so I think it got people and they're like, well, this isn't exactly what we're looking for. And they weren't represented or anything. So it's like this, but this is what we're looking for. And it was, both of them were kind of back and forth between resales and new builds. And so we were looking at both of those things and just different circumstances, but neither of them ended up going through with it. Maybe next year, maybe this year. This is the year.
So, but you're still in contact with them. If they do decide to go through with it, they're calling you?
I would hope so. I mean, yes, I'm still in contact with them for sure.
Okay.
Well, still reaching out to them. One of them I've been ghosted, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I will be showing up on their doorstep. And then I've been trying the FSBOs, got a little bit of action, but no business, out of that. I only did it for a little bit. The expireds, I only did for a little bit, didn't get much action on that. Yeah, and just really trying to figure out where to use my time, or if I do need to kind of still spread it out. When I do look at where my business has come from, it's all been sphere of influence and referrals.
Okay. Okay. So let's launch off of that. How did you create those relationships that are bringing you business?
What do you mean? Like, how did I meet them?
Look at each one of them. How did you create those relationships? So count your family, that just happens to you. How did you create the relationships that turned into business? What was it?
It's
Was it
church,
scouts?
neighborhood, school, scouts, mom group.
Okay. So what can you do more within each of those categories? Your mom group conversations. What are those like?
Yeah, no, it all is, it always somehow, like, real estate does come up, like just naturally sometimes, most times, because people are just kind of always curious and interested to hear how things are going.
Yes.
But or like there will be little things, like we had a recent Cub Scout event where Kelly Reed Realtor sponsored the donuts or whatever. So just little inserts like that. And then those are, I mean, honestly, I was talking with someone about this recently, and it was like, those are my people, right? Like, I'm around them, they know me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
So here's a conversation to potentially have whenever you're getting on a personal level, or when somebody asks you, how's real estate, right? I mean, the cookie cutter answer is, depends on what neighborhood you're talking about, right? Cookie cutter answer. I can send you something for your particular house and you'll know the value, right? Cookie cutter answer. Next, you can say, or maybe you get into a little bit of a conversation about a particular neighborhood that you happen to be familiar with, and you're able to give them some feedback right then and there. At the end of the conversation or before the conversation is ended, you can also say, I'm trying to double my business this year. Do you know anybody else that's looking to move? Right? They already know you, like you, and trust you. They're going to want to send somebody to you.
Yeah.
So sometimes just putting that into the conversation. I would also encourage you, when you're at those events, look for other events. Don't bypass the kid's birthday party. When you get invited, you have to go because that's part of your networking. And tell Stella, buck it up. I don't care if you like this girl, you go and smile because your mama needs the business. Just kidding. I have gotten so much business, even when I didn't have children at home. I always have the children, they're just not living at home anymore. I have always gotten business by going to kids' birthday parties. Don't know why. Always. I offer for my children to have their children's birthday parties at my house so I can meet all those parents. I have gotten so much business from that. So don't turn down those events. As a matter of fact, when you are at those events doing your regular community service thing, keep your realtor hat on, maybe backwards, but keep your realtor hat on and look for other opportunities to expand, because the goal is to expand. Yes, your sphere of influence will bring in so much, but if you're not expanding that sphere of influence, then it's going to stay right here.
Yeah.
And you
I
now
feel
have
like
a
I'm
ceiling.
constantly expanding it for sure. I'm adding people constantly.
Good.
Just
In order
naturally.
to have one sale a month, you probably need to be adding at least 10 people per month, maybe per week.
Yeah, I think I have like I think I have my goal set at like 5 a week.
So constantly be, I think, in your situation, and it just fits your personality. Is that the whole sphere of influence thing. So find other things to do within that sphere to grow it.
Right.
As well as your community, right? You're
Mhm.
doing things in your community. Your parties are all the time, most of the time in your community, right? You're doing those things to expand. On your social media, don't be shy about commenting on friends of friends.
Mhm.
I sit down with I haven't been doing it much lately. When I was only selling and not brokering, I would sit down with my Facebook at least once a day and respond to 10 people and then make a post.
Mhm.
But that's getting the engagement of other, right? It's expanding that network again.
Yeah.
And don't be shy about commenting on friends of friends. As a matter of fact, find a way to comment on a friend of a friend.
Right. Yeah, I have that on like my to-do list to make time to be intentional on social as opposed to just posting, be interacting. And I don't know. I have limited time, and so I'm trying
Yes,
to figure out I cannot do it all. I can do anything, but I cannot do everything.
cannot do it all. That's correct. That's correct. So I would say if you are spread thin on your social engagements, and you find yourself, hey, I have to say no to something, sit down and look at that. What am I going to say no to from a business point of view? What is bringing me business and what is not? What area do I get the most business from? And then have your community service around that, right?
Well, and
If
so, okay, I'm like a hopeless romantic, like a hopeless businesswoman that like, I'm very, there's people in the office listening to me, they laughed at that. So I'm very involved in my community and my HOA. I have
know.
not yet gotten business from it,
I know.
but I do believe that it is coming. And so if I were to sit down and say, what is bringing me the business, that would be something I would say no to,
Okay.
but I
Well,
don't.
but you still love it, enjoy it, and want to be there,
Mm,
or you feel like it could potentially. So maybe that is something you concentrate less on,
mm,
or maybe it's something that you go full out and you throw 10 times more effort at it to see if it's actually going to
right.
do it, right? If you look at that HOA slot in your time and
Mhm,
say, if I was doing A, B, and C, maybe I would be getting more, then I would
mm,
say concentrate heavy on doing A, B, and C and see if it actually does bring more. If it doesn't, maybe you have to sit down and reevaluate and say, okay, I love
mhm,
doing it, so I'm still going to do it, but I'm going to spend less time doing it.
mhm. Yeah. Okay. And it's not necessarily something I love doing. The HOA is terrible, but I
You're
am
still
making a
very hopeful for it.
difference
Yeah.
and getting
It's like dating the
exposure.
football guy, the guy on the football team who is so damn gorgeous that you just want to have him for your boyfriend and he treats you like crap. Are you still going to stay in that relationship just because he's so damn gorgeous and every other girl wants to date him?
You can have them. Yeah. No, I know. I know. And it does not bring me joy. That part of it, like there's two parts of the HOA. There's the board and then there's the social committee. And the social committee is wonderful and great. The board is not.
Yeah.
Um, ugh,
And you've
okay.
gotten in there to attempt to affect change,
Yes. Change for the
from what
good.
I've learned.
Yep. For the
But
positive. So
how successful has that been? Do you still need to be there trying to do it?
yes, I am making a difference.
Good,
Right now, no terrible bad changes can happen.
good.
Before they could just,
Yes,
my vote did not count. So now it
right. Good. So you've made that a more comfortable place for you and your family to live.
Mhm. Well, for a lot of families.
And
Yeah.
a lot of families, right? So other people who maybe you had heard from complain about something and you were able to affect a change, perhaps a follow-up conversation with them.
Mhm.
I was able to get this accomplished and I just wanted to get more feedback from you. Have you felt a difference?
Mhm.
Right? Because again, this is Kelly Reed Realtor that cares. She's not just on the HOA to, as accused, right? Um, to expand her business only, right? She
Oh,
actually
right.
does care
Right.
about our HOA. So maybe some follow-up conversations with those people. It gives you a really good reason to reach back out to them to get their feedback,
Yeah, I like that.
creating a stronger relationship with those people.
Yeah, I like that.
You're very much a relationship person, so find ways that you can strengthen that relationship. I'm the kind of person, every so often I run across somebody and I say, gosh, I'd like to know that person better. Right? There's just some people that I feel that connection with right away. Um, and I try to reach out to them and just say, hey, let's take our kids to the park together. Let's, do whatever. So go through each of your time slots where you spend that extra time volunteering, scouts, school, church, whatever they are, HOA, and really, really evaluate that. What can I do better
PTA.
here?
PTA.
Oh, is PTA off of our list?
PTA is going off the end of the list at the end of the school year.
Okay. Didn't do any
It's a
good
mean,
for you?
it's just a mean girls club.
Yeah.
It's not my people.
Those,
I mean,
that's
it's
where all the-
great. I think it's great. It could be great for business. And obviously developing relationships, but with the staff and stuff at the school, but the people actually on a majority of the people on the PTA, it's ugly. And
But you can, now that you've been in that position and gotten to know some of those teachers, you can continue to create relationships by taking something to the teachers lounge
yeah,
for
doesn't mean to be,
Valentine's Day.
doesn't mean to be from the PTA. It can be from
That's
Kelly Reed.
correct. You
Um,
you can sign in and say, I just have some stuff to deliver to the teachers, and put a bunch of whatever your pop by is in
mhm,
there for the teachers, right? Thinking about you today.
mhm. Yeah, exactly.
Just wanted to say thanks for everything you do, because I know that you do a lot
Mhm.
and it's thankless.
Yep, for sure. For sure. That's the direction I'm going with it.
Okay.
Same with my neighborhood welcoming committee that I started and then they kicked me off of. I was like, it doesn't need to be a committee, a social committee thing. It can be just me as an individual welcoming my neighbors. So like,
That's correct.
I don't know. They're anti-community. My community leaders are anti-community and they're definitely anti-realtor. And no, they're not anti-realtor. They're anti-Kelly Reed realtor. I don't know why. Anyway. I'm working with what I got.
Take a really, really sit down and evaluate. This is working, this is not. If you need to sit down with me and go over more ideas, go over, okay, I have evaluated it. This is what I'm going to concentrate, and I need to come up with some
Mhm.
ideas. Let's
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I've
then-
definitely like been working on scheduling like some one-to-ones face-to-face. I think it's where it's where it's at. So, or, phone calls second, but face-to-face is better. So just really like focusing on that right now.
Good. And the ones, focus on the ones that are actually bringing you results.
Yes.
Okay. How many sales have you gotten under your belt this year? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Because
All right.
in the springtime, you're going to have a month where you get 2 to
Yeah.
make up for February, unless
Mhm.
you're able to get a cash deal between now and the end of the month.
Yeah. Maybe, you never know. Never know. Yeah, I need to focus on the adding people and then just nurturing that,
Yep.
and asking for business because it's happening all around me. Like it is happening. It was funny, someone in my neighborhood that I know, I was contacting her about social committee stuff and she was like, "Oh, I'm moving." And I'm like, "Did I know that?"
Can I help you with that?
And are you keeping your current house? Are you, like I asked her specific questions and she's like, "Oh yeah, my longtime, realtor of 10 years is helping me, but like just ask for it because you don't know until you
I
ask."
love the loyalty. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would out loud say, I love that you have that loyalty.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep. Mhm.
I'll look up your house and see if I can bring some buyers. If you then go do an open house, especially in your neighborhood when like you already have a relationship, yes, they decided to list with someone else. But if you go offer to do an open house and let them know, I'll ask your realtor if she'll let me do
Yep,
a
I've done
open
that.
house.
I've done that for sure. Yeah, I had another friend that it was weird. She had referred me someone and she had talked to me about some property in Johnson City. And then I see her house go up for sale. And I was like, what is going on? And I contacted her and she said, oh yeah, we found this house. We weren't really looking, found this house in Georgetown or whatever. And I'm still like baffled on how I got missed on that one. But yeah, same sort of thing. I was like, hey, your house is awesome. Let me see if I can get in touch with your realtor and do an open house. And, I haven't yet figured out exactly what happened with that one. They just closed. So I'm going to do a little super sleuthing and then I'm probably going to ask her, how she went about that.
How she made that decision. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm wondering if it was a sign call on the Georgetown house and then that same person listed. Like that's what I'm going to go look for. And or someone else was like, well, maybe she referred you someone else, right? Because you can send a referral, but she had to use her
right.
relative or her neighbor or her good friend. Like when
Yeah.
it comes to using them, everyone knows, but when it's a referral, not everyone knows. So I don't know. Speculate, but I'm not,
Yeah.
my feelings aren't hurt, but I'm going to ask.
And you can always say, okay, now you owe me 2 referrals.
Mhm.
That was 2
Mhm.
paychecks. You owe me 2 referrals.
Mhm. Yep.
But yeah, asking the question, what brought you to that decision so that I can improve the services that I'm offering or how I'm operating my business so that I can make sure that I'm bringing in the amount of business that I need for my family.
Yeah.
Um, and having someone so close to me choose another realtor obviously is something that I need to evaluate for myself.
Yeah.
You might consider this time of year. Have you sent your all of your clients their settlement statements from all of your past clients from last year?
No.
Send them a copy of their settlement statements. They're going to need them to file their taxes. And then I like to, at this time of year, when you send them their settlement statement, do a quick check and make sure that they have filed for their homestead exemption. If they haven't,
Yeah.
remind them. Okay.
I do that.
How do you send a settlement statement?
The settlement statement is what they get at closing when they close on their house. And you'll have a copy of it. It'll be in your brokerment file for all of everything that you closed, and you can just go through and I used to always like to save them in one particular file. Like I would name it 2022 settlement statements. But back then we called them HUD. And I would have just a file on my laptop. And as they came in, I'd put them in the transaction management system and I'd put them in that file on my laptop so that I had access to them very quickly and easily. I send an email, hey, here it is. And then call them a week later. Did you get it? Do you need me to put it in the mail? Put a hard copy in the mail to you, right? Just
Yeah.
because
You have
they're
to get
going
it from the
need
title company.
again.
You get it from the title company.
Yes.
I was answering Michelle.
Oh, got it. Okay.
They don't always make sure that you have the final copy. So you
No.
kind of have to ask for
Michelle,
it.
whenever you go to a closing, you'll see that the agent that you're shadowing will probably take a scan on her phone of the settlement statement and upload it into Brokerment at that point. And that's how we retain a copy of it. Texas Realtors requires us to have one, but then you can also use it to touch your clients again at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so I need to reach out to the title company that helped me with my closing back in
Yeah.
July.
Yeah. Did you not keep a copy of it yourself? Probably not. You probably just pass that over to
It's
your
probably
broker.
in your email, Michelle.
They never gave me anything. And my broker wasn't with me at closing. It was just me.
I'm sorry. So yeah, I would say reach out to the title company and ask if you can get a copy of that to send out to your client.
Okay, will do.
It gives you a good reason to reach back out to them and make sure they have, and they're like, oh my God, yes, I didn't think about needing that for my taxes, right? And so you're handling a problem before they even knew they had a problem.
Okay.
This time of year is also a good time to reach out to any past clients friends, family, anybody in your database, everybody you know, and I preach this all the time, put everybody you know in your database. Reach out to all of them, look up their properties. You can look it up by their name, right? Look up their properties, send them a estimated CMA. I have a form letter that I use that basically says, good idea to keep an eye on your biggest asset and know the value of it. The value of your home is approximately, and I give them a range, this to this, 320 to 370, right? Just a range of what homes the size of theirs have sold. You're only looking at the size of it. If you happen to know the condition of it, that's great. But most of the time we don't know the condition. So this is a good time of the year to reach out to everybody in your database. It's all, you're cleaning out your database too. If they've sold with somebody else and moved someplace else, right? What does that look like for you? Is it still somebody you're going to stay in contact with? Are you going to spend a little less time maybe reaching out to them? Bye, Kelly. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you have any other questions or if you want to get together and develop a really personalized plan. Okay. I'm here for you, girl. So Michelle, what do your goals look like and what have you found? You're doing some farming with Rebecca, right? She's teaching you
Yeah.
farming.
Yes, I'm doing some farming. We did some pop buys. I'm definitely need to look into more ideas. So I don't think the title company that I used would appreciate me coming to grab all their swag again. Uh, so I need to come up with some more ideas on that. Probably gonna send out some more postcards through my mom's work. And I'm gonna try and do another open house before the end of this month. Uh, let's see what
How many
else.
open houses are you doing each month?
I've only done one with for myself. I went to Joyce's in the beginning, but like I said, getting my parents to watch Anthony is one of
Sure. It's a
the
hurdle.
yeah, it's a hurdle. So I'm planning on looking into that soon, to do one for the end of February.
How do you
Let's
feel that your open house did? Were you able to walk away with contacts?
So nobody wanted to sign the book.
Okay.
But there was two people that took my card, and I hoped that they would reach out. They didn't. Um,
They
but
lost
it
your card probably.
probably. I do have a scan code on my open house sign that also adds my contact information to their phones.
Good.
So if they scanned that, then they would definitely have the information. Uh, everyone it was a pretty successful open house. There was a lot of people who came in, a lot of people, well, one lady liked to give me her opinion on what I should do to the house to make it more presentable, like fix the fence, and because she drives by it all the time.
Did you tell her that you are not the seller's agent, but you would pass that information along?
I sure did. I said, well, thank you so much for the feedback. I'll pass it along to the listing agent.
Yeah.
But yeah, she gave me a very snobby uh yeah, it was very, she's like, "Can I give you some advice?" I'm like, "Sure." Sure.
Have you watched my open house presentation?
I don't think so.
And I need to update it actually. So maybe we can do an open house presentation. I can have Mackenzie record and we can do because we need to add some stuff that includes a virtual piece to it that is not on the old one. And I think I mentioned Craigslist on the old one. So probably need to update that. I haven't done one. Well, it's been 5 or 6 years, so probably needs to be updated. So I'll go through and watch that open house video myself and see how we need to update it. But I would highly recommend that. I started teaching that open house magic because the broker before me, I was having so much luck with open houses that he asked me to train all of the agents in Classic Realty at that time. So, so he was sending me. So I've been doing that training for a while. It just needs to be updated now. And then our previous admin had recommended that I record it because I was having to do it so much with different agents. So so she recommended that I record it, and now I need to record again. So if you are going to use open houses as one of your strategies, then you've really got to be consistent with it. Like, okay, I'm going to do this once a month. This is what it's going to look like, and just really be consistent with that.
Okay. I think I'm trying to find what I like and enjoy doing the most. I'm
Right.
just testing everything right now.
That's correct. That's correct. You are. And you've done some FSBO calls and some expired calls.
Yes, so actually, right before we got on this thing, I was doing expired emails to ones that are on the do not call list.
Good.
So I just sent out a few of those, and hopefully we get something back on that. And then I did reach out to a girl that I used to work with who put in an offer on a house, but it didn't go through, and she was only approved up to so much because she's doing it on her own through my job with the bus driving. And she got a lease because that one didn't come through for her until the contract that he accepted fell through. Then he reached out and she was like, no.
Okay.
So I reached back out to her and I started a group chat with her and Gavin. She hasn't gotten back to him because her schedule is really tight on the weekday, but I did talk to her on the phone about it. So she was open to it. And I think we plan on maybe trying to do a 3-way call this weekend
Good.
and
Very
see
good.
whether she wants to buy land, because she has a settlement coming in, so she might want to do some land. But then I told her we should look at land and getting all the utilities and building a house on that land versus houses that are already built.
Right.
So,
Right.
oh,
So it sounds like she wants something outside of the city limits, right? With some space.
she just started working for Maynard. And Gavin said as long as it's in the same field of work, it shouldn't mess her up with
Yeah.
getting a lot.
Yeah.
So I plan on doing that. Then I had another bus driver yesterday ask me for my card. She said a while back, like she's like, I want to say it was like 2 years ago, I was approved for 250. So she's like, but there was a lot going on in that moment, and we just decided to hold off. So she said she'll call me and we can talk.
So do you have her contact information?
No, the kids were coming out. I couldn't.
Okay. But
Yeah.
you have, do you have a QR code on your phone with your contact information?
No, but that's an idea.
There's a couple of different options. The one I currently have is called Blink.
Blink. Okay.
And then Mackenzie was getting information about another one yesterday called Popple, but they can scan this and get my information, but then it also asks them to give me theirs
Okay.
so that we both have each other's information. Sometimes I just simply say, what is your contact information? Let me save you in my phone, right? And I just save them right there. And I might send them a text message that says, hey, this is Lori, send me your email address, right? So then they are replying back to me. So they can now save mine. Sometimes I just do that, right? If I'm in a hurry.
Right.
So it's very, very important for you to get her contact information so that you can follow up, right? So make it a point, if you know that she gets there 5 minutes early, or you know that you need, in order to speak with her, this is what you need to do, make sure you do that. Go in early, stay late, whatever that looks like, so that you can capture her information.
Okay.
And think of some sort of program or something. I just got some new information from my lender. I wanted to be sure to send it to you, right? Think of something that you can send that is in her benefit for
Right.
what she's trying to do, right?
She said she went through the first time home buyers program that a while back.
Okay. So
So
ask Gavin about, there is, T-Shack just opened up a new one. My client got like 6.5% interest. And I'm talking, we locked that thing quick. Andrea, actually. So her lender called and said, oh my God, this just opened up. I need a copy of your contract right now so I can lock you into 6.5%. So you might tell her, hey, this just happened. And somebody I work with, you can say it's your broker or whatever, just was able to get their client locked in. We need to have that talk this weekend with Gavin, or, when are you available? Let's talk to, my lender, right? Like, that might be something, staying on top of stuff like that, so you can go back to
Right.
her, give her a reason to go ahead and
Mhm.
make that appointment. But just preliminary, but let's get prepared. There's, anything you need to pay off or more money you need to save, let's find out about it now, so that when you're ready to move, you're in the strongest position.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'll Tuesday we go back to school.
Right.
So
Oh, you don't do anything tomorrow?
yeah, tomorrow Anthony is off school. So he'll be with me, and I have a meeting with my friend Brenda, who's thinking about moving back to this area. And
Nice.
she's up in Dallas right now. So she's
Good.
thinking about moving back to this area. And I asked her for her business when she was thinking about it. And she was very hesitant. She's like, I don't know how I feel about friendships she's like, I don't want nothing to mess up our
Our
friendship.
friendship.
Yeah,
Right.
she's like, what if it comes down to the place that I'm gonna rent and I don't like it, I don't want there to be any kind of resentment or anything. And I guess so when she said she was in town, I really just want to talk to her about, like, especially when it comes to renting. That doesn't really that there's not much that I can do to affect our friendship. Everything that's gonna happen with renting is pretty much on
The
the other.
landlord. Right.
Yeah.
On a sale, as long as you are making sure that you are giving her all of the options, and then it's her decision, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I tell my friends, one, everything that we do is completely confidential. Our mutual friends are not going to hear about it, unless you tell them. I won't be the one telling them, right? I've got a mutual friend that, Andrea, right? She just went under contract. I have not reached out to Lindsay or Jamie or any of them to tell them that she's under contract. If she wants
That's
to
her
do that, that's
business.
on her, right? Or Gail. So
It's kind of
that's
like
the first
doctor
thing.
patient confidentiality.
So it's exactly what it is. And I let them know that straight up, anything about your sale is going to be between you and I. If you decide to tell other people, that's on you, right? I'm not going to do that. And I even put a post on Facebook about helping single moms, and I never once tagged her in it. She went in and tagged herself and responded. That's on her, right? That was her choice.
Yeah.
The other thing to tell them is, I want to make sure that you know all of your options, and you don't have some realtor that's out there just trying to make their next sale. I want to
Yeah.
make sure that you've got a realtor that's looking out for your best interest, and taking your specific situation into consideration and giving you all of your options. Ultimately it's your decision, but I want to make sure that you've got somebody protecting you and giving you all of your options.
Mhm.
because ultimately that's what we have to do. It's not our decision to make whether or not a seller decides to do these repairs or not, right? It's
Right.
our decision to say, these are the consequences. The buyer has the right to back out. There's plenty of other houses on the market for them to look at. There's plenty of other houses that look way nicer in your neighborhood, right? I mean, it's our job just to tell them the consequences of the decisions and make sure that they know all of the potential options for them. That's really
Right.
all of the job. Okay, so you're doing some FSBOs and expireds, and you're doing open houses. You're also working with your relationships.
Yes.
And you're expanding relationships, I hear, because of you're expanding some things with the bus route. So you're doing all of those things right. And you have a limited amount of time, and you're doing some farming.
Yes.
You have and your title company doesn't care how much stuff you take from them.
Okay. Okay. I didn't.
They have it made for these reasons.
Okay.
Um, So don't worry about that. They will tell you if there's an issue. They will let you know. Okay, we can only let you get this many, right? They'll let you know what your limit is. I would say on each item, sit down and give yourself a goal of, this is how many people at the bus stop that I want to talk to.
Mhm.
This is how many of my personal relationships, right? Have you put everyone you know into a database yet?
No. No.
You have got to get yourself a date. I don't care if it's an Excel sheet, whatever it is, you have got to get yourself a database and put everybody you know into it. The thing, did you go to the thing on Tuesday? Were you able to attend that this past
Yes.
Tuesday?
Yes.
So the way that
I
she
have a
takes that,
meeting I have a meeting set up with her
good.
on Tuesday.
Good. Make sure that you have like as many people as you can possibly think of put into, I don't care if it's an Excel sheet. I think for her purposes, it needs to be an Excel sheet. But
Okay.
eventually you're going to add those to your CRM, right? But for now, they can be in this Excel sheet and get as much in there as you can so that she can help you get that organized. I love her system. I wish somebody would have sat down with me and done that when I was an agent. I love that system. That's why I had to have her come in. It's like, oh my God, this is the most ingenious thing ever. She needs to sell it to Buffini or get royalties. But so good. I'm glad that you have that meeting with her. That's good.
And I've also given out some of my business cards to parents at my bus stops.
Good.
It's the ones that I feel comfortable enough doing.
Right.
So, and I gave them a
Because they
couple.
mentioned moving or because you were
Well,
asking for business?
I buy Girl Scout cookies from one of them. So, and I've drove her kids for about 3 years. So I feel really comfortable saying, hey, I actually got into real estate a while back. I wanted to give you some business cards. If you know anybody, would you mind maybe
Right.
referring them to? And she was like, absolutely. She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, great. I'll make sure to have some in my school bag tomorrow.
Um,
But I gave her like a good little stack.
so also get her contact information. Do you have her phone number and email address?
No, I do not.
Get her contact information. When you fix these pop buys, these are the kind of people that you can give that to. Give them
Okay.
something like a little Valentine's pop by would have been perfect to hand
Mhm.
her yesterday, as she's picking up a kid. Oh yeah, by the way, I wanted to hand this to you so that they didn't eat all the chocolate, right? So that you can control how much of the sweets they eat. So you're doing something like, I'm taking into consideration that you don't want your kids to have 10 pieces of candy like what I put in this bag, that you want to divvy that out. Make sure they share it, whatever, you've got that little thing. With Easter coming up, I like to do Peeps. That's my favorite. But you can hand them directly to her. I wanted to give these to you to make sure the kids share, or to make sure you can control how many sweets they have, whatever that is. But it's got your contact information on there. And I would at some point just say, hey, can I get your phone number and email address so I can keep up with you outside of the bus route.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
So that
Awesome.
you can then add her contact information to your database, right?
Okay.
Um, and occasionally you might say, have you heard anybody move in lately?
Yes.
Because that's going to make her think of, oh, people moving, not just who can I refer her to, right? Because that doesn't say, but people moving, like that puts it into, oh, actually I did talk to somebody that wants to move, right?
Right.
Because eventually her kids will her kids outgrow your bus route?
Yes, one of them already did. But her youngest son's about to start school next year. So
Good. Rotate them right in. Good. But yeah, try to get her contact information so you can keep up with her outside of.
okay.
And
Definitely.
so, I mean, you can use the Girl Scout cookies as an excuse. I don't want them to melt on the bus. I want to come pick them up after my bus route,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I know where she lives, because the bus stop's right by her house. So I know
Yeah.
her, I know the house. But
You
yeah,
look her
I
up
could,
to see if she owns that house or if she's renting it.
ooh, that's a good question. I could definitely look that up. So that's something I will be
Keep
doing.
that in mind, because if she's renting, maybe she at some point wants to buy, and you can keep an eye out and go, hey, did you know that this house around the corner would keep your kids in the same school?
Right.
It's for sale.
They've been in that house for a while, so unless they're like some really long time
That
renters,
happens. Yeah, that
right?
happens.
Okay, I was like,
We
'cause
have people in our property management that have lived in the house 15 years.
wow.
So somebody like that might just need education that, hey, you're paying somebody's mortgage. You may as well get the tax benefit yourself.
Yeah,
Because some people don't think about buying.
yeah. They think it's too much work, and
Yeah.
it can be, but it just depends on the type of person you are.
Yeah. So let's
Not
see.
having a mortgage or not having rent when you've retired, so then you can use all the 401k that you saved up and not use it on housing. That would probably be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Okay. So your relationships, you're going to concentrate on getting contact information with these relationships that you're creating.
Okay. And I need to work on social media too. Like I used to be really consistent with it, but since the guidelines, I didn't know what was appropriate to really post or not, so I just been off of.
You don't know what the seller has agreed to as far as photos. So without a listing agent's permission, don't.
Okay.
When a listing agent does give you permission, then all you want to, in your post, it has to say listed by the brokerage. Some agents want you to put their name on there also, but it has to have the brokerage.
What about like ads and stuff, or maybe some new developments? Like, do I have to, like, if I want to share, hey, Star Link or whatever it is, I don't remember the name of it right now, is doing a promotion where they're giving 3
Absolutely do those.
and closing.
Absolutely do those. And then tag that builder, tag that community,
Okay.
tag that city,
Okay.
because anyone that is looking, maybe even, if it's a particular school, maybe tag the school too. It's in this school district, right? Because anyone who is looking for a house with those parameters,
I have so many that Brightland homes.
yes. So anybody that is looking for that particular area, if they have visited and they are following that community, if they are following that city or whatever, or that particular builder, then you are capturing all of their
So
followers too, right?
So this one says 40,000 in flex cash. What does that mean?
You can use the cash either for your closing costs or for upgrades in the home.
Okay. And then they also, and I buy down rates. And I think one of them said they buy down the rate for the life of the loan. Like it was like 4.99.
Rather than a 3-2-1 buy down. Good.
And so I have a bunch of
So
these flyers from that conference we went to.
some of your ads might be, if you want to know how to get a interest rate less than 5% this month, call me, right? Put a call me button.
Okay.
Don't ask me how to do that. You have to talk to Mackenzie. But
Okay.
put the button. And then because you want to be able, most people are going to be looking at it here anyway. You want to be able to push that button and get direct contact with you.
Okay.
And then you might also say, if you want to know how to get $40,000 off of a brand new home in Hutto, call me. Pflugerville, call me. Or
Mhm.
maybe just put the community. Don't put the exact builder that's offering that, only put the community, because you want them to call you, not the community, right?
Yeah.
So some of it you want to leave a little bit, like they've got to call you to get the full details, but you want to capture some of the following that they have, or some of the people that have been searching for that, you know, it's going to land in their feed because they've been searching those, right?
Right.
If I search for dresses, all kinds of ads for dresses land in my feed. So, and maybe you want to throw $5 at it or $10 at it occasionally to make them blast out more.
Okay.
So, and there's limitations on ads and getting them. I think you can target like zip codes or something. They've changed all of that, but Mackenzie's your gal. Some of your off time, like maybe sit down with her and say, these are my goals. This is what I want to advertise. Like sit down and look at those and which are your top 3 that you want to advertise, right? And then how is that advertising going to look? And then sit down with Mackenzie and say, these are my goals, and have her create. Maybe you blast all of them out at once. Maybe you do 1 per week, whatever that looks like for you.
And then the last thing that I've been doing, I'm waiting for this mortgage guy. He's doing a co-brand door hangers with me, and I'm going to go to apartment communities and hang those.
Go to higher end apartment communities.
Okay.
Look at the cars.
Okay, and I think he's doing USDA, so he wants to focus like more on the outskirts. So
Okay, there you go. Look at the cars. Absolutely look at the cars. If they are driving beaters that they are probably not making payments on, they probably cannot make a house payment,
okay.
right? So look at the cars. Now,
Okay.
if there's Mercedes all through there, they probably wouldn't be looking for a USDA loan. See where I'm going with that? If
Yeah.
there are some decent looking minivans and SUVs, they might be,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So if there are like utility work trucks there after hours, and you see that the plumbing truck is sitting there, that guy probably works for that plumbing company, right? So he is probably a master plumber or a master electrician because he has been given a company vehicle to go do, right? He may have a helper that works with him. We're not after the helper. We're after the guy that's driving that truck. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're thinking of a certain, like they make a certain amount of money. They drive a decent vehicle, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
because those keys don't get handed over to people with a criminal record, people with a bad driving record. You know, I mean, those keys don't get handed over to just anyone. They don't get handed over to the helper. They get handed over to the master plumber that is going to that job.
Right.
So that's also a good thing to look for in apartment complexes. People that have not considered buying, right? So this is a training thing, because some people are just in the I've got to rent mindset. You know, my parents never had $20,000 to put down on a home. I don't have $20,000 to put down on a home, right? So
Right.
your marketing piece needs to center around there is a loan product that requires zero money down. Call me to find out what it is. Call this person to get approved, and then Michelle will help you find a home. So
So I'm waiting on him to have his designer finish it up, and then we'll
good,
be getting on that.
good. Are you doing some door knocking?
No, I have not done that yet. That intimidates me.
You can use, I prefer to use Espresso and do the circle prospecting and call the people and tell them I'm going to be in the neighborhood. That's just my
Okay.
preference. You can do that either way. It's also with a person with some time constraints like what you have as a single mom.
Mhm.
It was much easier for me to sit down and make 100 phone calls. It would take way longer for me to visit 100 houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you can use Espresso for circle prospecting as well as for calling your FSBOs and expireds.
Okay.
What is your goal as far as how many you want to close?
It's low right now because I've only done one house at all.
Okay.
So I'll at least do 3, but I would love to do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in order to do 3, you have to talk to at least 30 people,
Okay.
right? So, well, I mean, probably more than that. Let's see, figure the numbers. You have to visit with at least 30 prospects. In order to get a prospect, you've probably got to talk to 10 people. So it's probably closer to 300 people, I guess. So ultimately, you've got a limited amount of time. So when you have, this is my break, how many people can I call how many people can I touch in this amount of time? This is what I've got to get done, right? I am on a mission to contact as many people as possible. Make it a race for yourself. That's what I always did. Make it a race. I have a 2-hour window. Yesterday, I contacted 50 people. Today, I'm going to get it up to 60, right? Because I have this window and this is what I'm going to do with that time, right?
Okay.
So you can make it a race for yourself.
Mhm.
Also, if you're talking a little bit faster, not talking like you have all the time in the world, people think that you're busier and you're not just calling them because you're bored.
Right. Right.
Because when you call, hey, how are you doing? Like, you just sound bored to me.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm on a mission, I've got some things to do, and I'm calling you for a specific reason that I'm going to let you go because I got to get on to the next call.
Yeah.
And you've got all the scripts to do that. So it's just a matter of keeping the conversation moving and not letting it pause.
And I think I told you about that REO guy that I signed up with their company, and they're supposed to contact me to list REO home.
Yes.
Well, I got tired of waiting, so I called them. I was like, hey, what's going on? You said I was supposed to be getting one a month. We're going on month 4 now. And he told me that between the holidays, like that whole month, they don't do pretty much anything. And it takes 30 days to foreclose on a home. So then they got to do the repairs on the home. He said that the bank that owns the home is almost done with the repairs, and then they should be reaching out to me shortly to list that home. They're gonna ask for me to go out there, price it, and there's a whole thing on the website to do. Still feel like smoke's getting blown up my butt, but
Has it cost you any money?
yes,
How much did it cost you?
$175 to get on their website.
Okay. So I would say that money is not working. So get on that horn and call him regularly. Look, I spent $175 because you told me I was going to have one a month. You're 4 behind. Are you going to give me 4 this month?
And then another thing is the bank's gonna give 6%, and then that company that has me on their website will take 0.5%. And then I split 5.5% with buyer's agent, whatever I wanna do. And that's, so it's like, don't you want money?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And you might say that, I can't make you any money until you send me some stuff.
yeah,
I spent this $175 in full faith. You've given me nothing. It's been 4 months. What is the
Mhm.
address of the property that's coming up? When am I gonna get it?
yeah,
And
okay.
I would call them weekly. I would call them weekly. Guess who gets the oil? The
The
squeaky wheel.
squeaky-
Be the squeaky wheel.
The
Be
other time I
persistent.
reached out, he's definitely given me a call, cause I have his number, so I text him like, hey. 'Cause when I'm on the bus, I'm like, hey, I still haven't heard anything. What's up? He's like, do you have a moment to talk? And I feel like he gets me on the phone so he can give me his excuse and sound sincere about it.
Say, no, I have a moment to list a house.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then I will be giving him a call next week.
Yeah, stay on it. Stay on it. You spent that $75. You need to see a return on your investment. Stay on it. I said 75, 175.
Once I get that.
That can be very lucrative in the right market. So
Mhm.
stay on it.
Yeah.
And decide how much time you want to be calling expireds. And then do
Okay.
your best to call as many as possible. How many you want, if you want to call the FSBOs, and then call as many as possible. FSBOs require, I don't know which of these you're more comfortable with, but I just want to point this out.
FSBOs are like short term are a waste of time. I know long term they could turn into something good. It's just right now I want to focus on something I can nurture immediately.
Correct. FSBOs require more nurturing. They do. So for your situation, I would absolutely say like expireds are your thing, right? Would probably be more beneficial. So what I want you to do is sit down and map out your time. This is my work hours, and this
Okay.
is what I'm going to do during those hours.
Okay.
I would say farming one day a month, take care of your farming thing and be done
Okay.
with it. Because you're doing one a month, right? In your farm?
Yeah. So I did the whatchamacallit, the Popeyes last month, and I'll probably have my mom send some postcards to that neighborhood. Uh, uh something in the mail so it's quick.
Okay. I would say one day a month for those. Are you touching your farm once a month or twice a month?
I've done it once a month.
Okay. Because there again, that's kind of a long-term thing. When
Mhm.
you do open houses in that farm.
Yes, that's what I did.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
When you call expireds, concentrate on that farm. The only way that your name is going to get out there is if they see and hear it regularly.
Mhm.
Right? So I would
Right.
absolutely encourage you at least once a month to do an open house so they see your name and your
Yeah.
sign, right?
Right.
You do have a sign with your name on it, right? Or a writer?
I
Okay,
do.
good.
I do.
Because they're seeing your advertisements. Each of them need to be consistent, so it's regular. Do you have any sort of a logo or anything other than just your face?
What do you mean? I have your logo on it.
Yes,
The
a
Realty.
Michelle logo.
No, Michelle logo.
Does it have your face? Does it have your face on everything?
No. It has my name and it has your logo and it has my little QR code.
Okay.
That might have my face on it. I have to check. QR code when you scan it might have my.
We need to get you consistent branding across the board,
Okay.
across all of your, if you are not already on your farm's HOA social media page, ask to join it.
Okay. And
Um,
those squads do have my face on it. All of that does. It's just my open house sign doesn't.
okay.
I don't think so.
When you get
kind
your
of
first,
better.
when you get your first sale, you should change that.
Okay, okay. I definitely
We-
need to get a new picture. Maybe one that's not just my head floating around.
Um, we want the cards that you're mailing, the signs that they see at the open house, the farming that you do. We want all of it to be consistent. So they go, oh, that's Michelle Kluger. Oh, that's like, oh yeah, that's the Realtor Michelle. Yes, I've seen her. They know exactly what it is every time they see it, right? Eventually they're all going to get magnets too. So they all have a magnet to hang on the refrigerator. They won't throw that shit away.
Yeah.
People will keep magnets forever.
Well, we know because we do.
Right? So, just think if everybody in your farm also had your magnet hanging on their fridge
Hmm.
that they're never going to throw away. They're
Yeah.
seeing your face regularly once a month doing, so make sure that the week that you do whatever farm touch you do is not the week that you do an open house.
Okay.
Because then it looks like, oh, saw her here. Oh, saw her here.
Okay. Okay.
Right? They've
Right.
seen you 2 different times. It seems like you're more active now.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you're on their page, their Facebook page, it could even be, these are all the homes in the neighborhood available on a completely different week, right?
Yeah.
If you know anybody looking in the area, call me. These are all the homes available in the area. If you want to know your value of your home, here you go. If you want to, if that particular neighborhood is going through a rezoning, if you want to know more about the rezoning, right? Contact me. I can
Okay.
call you. I have to get the information from you. But concentrate on a lot of this within your farm, your expireds, your open houses, and don't do it all in the same week. One of it 1 week, one of it another week, one of it another week, one of another week.
Okay.
Sit down and map out your time as to how you're going to spend it and what strategy you're going to be doing during this time. And then when you sit down, it is not time for you to plan out who you're going to call or mail during that time. That's not the time to plan it. That's the time to do it. Does that make sense?
Yes. So then there's another time to plan it.
Yes, exactly. And the time to plan it, quite frankly, can be while you're sitting there watching one of your kids' movies with him, right? That's the time you can plan.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't take all of your concentration so much.
Yeah.
The time that you can do stuff bags for your, if you're putting things on doors, that can be while he's watching a movie and you're sitting here doing your stuff.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, as he gets older, he'll be helping you. My kids did.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Because I was always doing it, so they were there helping me with it. In July, the Williamson County Association generally does a food drive. You're going to do your food drive to your farm, right? I've seen her name 1,000 times, Michelle. I've seen her name 1,000 times. Now she's collecting food for those sweet people, and they're going to put food out for you because they've seen your name enough. And then they have to call you to tell you that they've left food out for you to pick up. So now you have their address and their phone number of that particular person. And now you can give them another, thank you so much for contributing. We really appreciate it. This is the amount that we were able to collect, right? So then it's another touch. Eventually you will own that neighborhood from doing that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, the quick thing to do is the expireds, but still within that neighborhood so that when you get that sign put out there you are.
Yeah. I'll definitely try and target that neighborhood but still reach as many other people as possible.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that do not call list.
Yes. But sending the emails out is a perfectly good way to reach those people that are on the do not call list too.
I took your email temp and kind of switched it up to meet kind of, yeah, because I didn't sell a bunch of homes. I was like, good morning or afternoon, depending on when you're reading this. I noticed this morning that your listing finished on the MLS without successful sale. I feel like it should have already sold. As a matter of fact, Classic Realty specializes in homes that didn't sell the first time around. And then, so I just where it says I sold or I
You
like,
put we.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what you do at this stage in your career, the almighty we.
Yes, we, Lori.
That's good. You can take credit for it. It's your brokerage. You can take credit for it. And that helps you
That-
get some sales under your belt.
Yes, and then I can finally move into the I statements.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
Okay, sit down and get yourself scheduled for specific strategies. Every day you're doing specific strategies. And I mean, you're not contacting 10 or 12 people. I mean, you want to contact hundreds of people. So increase the number of people that you're contacting will increase your, it'll just jettison you right out to your sales, right? So that your sales, the only way you're going to get there is contact a lot of people. And hopefully your parents have some contacts that you can reach out to build additional relationships too.
Yeah, my dad did hand out my business cards at his work, and he's a master
Okay.
electrician at his job. So
Good, good, good. That's another place whenever you're doing pop buys, you can send those with your dad.
yeah, I definitely can. We'll see how he likes it.
Well, if you can just set them on a table, people can grab them, right? Especially if they're sweets to eat, people are gonna
Yeah.
love it. So, yeah,
Well, he will. He's really helpful. You just
hope
might
you do.
gripe a little bit.
Of course,
All right.
of course.
I'll definitely get on that and keep you updated.
Sounds good. And I'm gonna get all of the new stuff uploaded for Andrea and get you added to the system. That's actually my next task, so that you'll be up to date on that. We did the inspection and we've got 10 days. Today's day 1, because the contract actually did not get executed until yesterday. So tell me, the contract got executed yesterday. When is her earnest money due?
So if it was yesterday, and that was day 0. So today is day 1, tomorrow is day 2, and Saturday is day 3.
When is she gonna take when is her earnest money due?
It's due by 5 o'clock on Saturday.
Nope.
No, I thought it was 3 days. Oh wait, it's a holiday.
3 days unless the third day falls on a weekend or holiday. And then
Okay,
it moves to the next business day.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. That's correct. Good.
Tuesday.
Now the option. When does the option end?
You said 10 days and it was executed yesterday. And does that day still count as 0 on the
Yes.
option?
Counts on
Alright.
0 for everything within the contract.
All right, so then can I pull up my calendar? Where's my phone? Need a calendar. All right, so if today, so it's 10 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And the 10th day would be the 25th, and weekends count on an option.
That's correct. So if our option ends on a Saturday, then we still have until Saturday at 5 o'clock to
Okay.
notify.
And if it was executed yesterday and then the 25th is a Sunday, she has until Sunday at 5.
Correct.
Okay.
So this was executed yesterday. 24th. I'm getting the
Oh,
24th. Today is day 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
your face was covering a block. So
I'm getting the 24th as
Okay,
her
24th.
option.
Yeah.
So she has until Saturday, the 24th at 5 p.m.
Okay.
The inspection looked very much like the other one. The roof doesn't look good. So we're getting that the company that I use also has a roofer go out and inspect the roof and take photos. So we're waiting on that inspection report. And the HVAC also does not work. Go figure. So we are waiting on the inspection report from the HVAC company as well. We got both of those things taken care of. We were able to very quickly get them. Actually, the roofing company was out there the day before the inspector went out, and the HVAC company went out yesterday afternoon. So we're expecting that report today. The other things that came out, the dishwasher's full of mold. It was this company. Have you looked up 2410 Edgecliff?
No.
They
I'm not.
had some documents in their document section on the MLS that one of it was a seller's addendum. It basically said in lieu of repairs, the seller would, if the seller agrees to do any repairs, the seller would offer money. So you might want to go in and read those documents just so you can kind of see. Sometimes this happens like this. This is a corporation that owns rental properties, and they're
Okay.
selling off, they're liquidating this home.
Okay.
And so they have, like once they agreed to our terms, then it has to go through their legal department for signatures, right? And then once it comes, then we'll be like, we'll officially have their signatures. So it took a couple of days before all that happened. I was in constant communication with the agent. I had text messages from her telling me, yes, we are under contract with you. We are not considering any other contracts. I'm not going to send them any other contracts. We were having all of these discussions. I was making sure that I was protecting my clients as much as possible. I've got it in text message and I've got it in email, so that if something were to happen during this waiting period, I have it in text message that they agreed that this was under contract for Andrea, right? So that I would have something to take to somebody if I needed to. So anyway, I'll get all of that stuff uploaded for you and then add you to the communication back and forth so you can kind of see how all of that is going. But yes, when her so Thursday is when our last option ended, right? And I went to look at the comps and I found this one, right? And so we went and looked Thursday night. I took her the termination right then, and I also took her this other contract. We sent the other contract Thursday evening. And the other people got back to us. They said they wouldn't get back to us until Friday. They got back to us that same evening and said, we need $350 in option money. Okay, great. She agreed to it. Send it back over. Monday, they got back to us and said, we need the closing date to be March 11th rather than March 8th. We made that change. We agreed to it, right? So that was what their legal department said, was the March 11th after legal reviewed it. So, but so it takes them a little while to get their signatures to us, but we got it all done and taken care of. So she's just waiting on her refund from the other one still. But I'll add you to everybody so you can be in communication with it. And then yesterday, her lender got back to us and said, I need a contract now. Oh my God, I can get her in the T-Shack program and she'll only have 6.5% interest rate. And I'm like, here it is. It's not complete, but here it is. So
Awesome.
she just needed, to have the house information and some sort of a contract to get her enrolled in that program. So they got her locked into that program yesterday. So and then yesterday afternoon, I got the actual signatures sent over to Andrea, the initials for Andrea to initial the last bit. So So we went on ahead with the inspection yesterday too. So
Pushing everything
yeah,
through. Woo.
yeah.
It's been going
It
good.
feels like this is the one because everything is not just falling in place, but it's like above anything she ever expected. $10,000 in closing costs. They're willing to replace the roof. They, you know what I'm saying? We don't have that part in writing, but just from talking to the agent, so
Awesome.
yeah, it's way better.
Okay.
6.5%, and she's getting closing costs paid by the seller, the $10,000 plus her down payment assistant from T-Shack plus the 6.5% brought her monthly payment down even lower. So it's just like everything is just
Lining up.
way, way better. Yeah. So it's really good. It's really good. Um, so, and I knew that, yeah, you had told me that you wouldn't be able to attend the inspection. So, but I'll get that report uploaded so you can.
Yeah, and I'll look it over. Yeah, for sure. I'm learning a lot. So
I'm sure you are. Yeah. The only things that she was worried about with that one was the dishwasher, smoke alarms don't work, the roof, and
AC.
the AC. Yeah. So, which it seems HVAC is going to have to be replaced. So,
Yeah. It'll be brand new though. So that's good.
yeah. Okay, my dear. I'm going to sign off. I've given you plenty of homework to do. So get busy on that, and then you can show Rebecca or me or both or whichever. But okay,
All right.
all right,
All right.
go get it. All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.